The member for it's the member for Stirling. Sorry, member for Hunter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Home Affairs. Will the minister outline to the House the stable and certain approach the Morrison government is taking to protect Australia's financial services from money launderers, from terrorists and from child sex offenders?
The Minister for Home Affairs.
Well, Mr. Speaker, it's always a pleasure to get a question from the member for Stirling. He's a very popular choice over that side, I've got to say, and he asked a very, very important question, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Home Affairs portfolio receives record funding each year because we're able to manage the budget well. And one of the principal tasks of the Home Affairs portfolio and all of our agencies within the Home Affairs portfolio is to keep Australian children safe. Mr. Speaker, there's a lot of work that we've done through cancellation of visas of sexual offenders, people that have committed offences against children. There's a lot of work that the Australian Federal Police do with their international counterparts, with their state and territory counterparts to keep Australians safe. And I want to commend the work today, in particular of Nicole Rose, the CEO at AUSTRAC, all of the investigators and analysts at AUSTRAC who have worked tirelessly to make sure that they too can deliver on the Home Affairs portfolio pledge to keep Australians safe. The Morrison government will always make decisions, Mr. Speaker, to keep our borders secure, to keep our communities safe, and we're adamant that that will continue to be the case. Now, the incidents, Mr. Speaker, in relation to Westpac, as we know, are completely unacceptable. It follows on the work that AUSTRAC did to work with the CBA to highlight the failures in the CBA model, and there was a $700 million fine that resulted, and CBA has paid that money to the Commonwealth, and so they should have. It's clear, Mr. Speaker, that the Westpac banking bosses, through their negligence, have given a free pass to pedophiles, and there is a price to pay for that, Mr. Speaker, and that price will be paid, and we've been very clear about it, Mr. Speaker. So the work that AUSTRAC has undertaken, and as we've seen with CBA and Westpac, will continue with other corporations who continue to go outside of Australian laws. Our laws in this country apply equally to all, and we want to make sure, Mr. Speaker, that those companies, those entities, those organisations that breach their obligations under the law pay a penalty for it. So we have no more important undertaking as a government than to keep Australian children safe. We will continue to do it. It's clear that the Westpac banking bosses have failed that obligation, and, Mr. Speaker, we will make sure through AUSTRAC and the other entities within the Home Affairs portfolio that people who commit those egregious offences or breaches of the law will pay a serious price.